I just walked in, but y'all already know me. Things in the world nowadays getting oldie. Chilling in the crib with the fam, getting cozy. Talking with my people, we at home with our homies.
All right, what's up, everybody? I am your host, Jay Ciano from Sabre Real Estate. Today on At Home with Our Homies, I have my homie, Chris Woods from Y7, man. What's going on, Chris?
Not much, Jay. How you doing, bud?
I'm hanging in, man. I'm doing as well as we can here under the circumstances. How you doing?
Yeah, likewise. It's been a challenging few weeks, but I think we're all kind of making the best of a pretty difficult situation.
Yeah, for sure, man. Listen, you guys do a wonderful job of keeping people centered, and mindfulness and yoga is something that I've turned to even more, throughout this time here. So you guys are doing an amazing job, and obviously really helping people through this circumstance here. So tell us
Yeah,
about that.
it's a wild time, and I think if ever there was a time to connect to not only yourself, but to feel like you're connected to a bigger and something larger, a larger community. I think now's the time. I think you're seeing that obviously with people not able to go to a brick and mortar or to a workout class or to do anything socially. They want to feel connected. And I think we're seeing that in a big way with what we're doing online and live streaming and IG lives and everything else. We're seeing a pretty robust following. Which obviously bodes well for the brand, but also to know that we're, able to be a little bit of an outlet for folks,
For sure.
especially during a time when, stress levels are through the roof and, quarantining, whether you're by yourself or with a family or whatever, is really, really challenging. And I think, any outlet you can find, especially if it's not, a vice, if you will, is a good one. So I think yoga, meditation, anything active is certainly one that is helpful.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you guys have such an amazing community of folks that are just so attached to your brand and what you guys do. I feel so fortunate to work with you guys, and that's one of the things I love the most about Y7, and it's super unique. I don't think many other boutique fitness concepts have achieved what you guys have achieved at your stage of development, no less.
Yeah, I mean, I think Sarah and Mason, the founders, co-founders, husband and wife duo, have done an amazing job of really kind of making yoga accessible, and that's what I think it was missing was the accessibility piece of yoga. And people get so turned off by the chanting, the oming, the different aspects to it, and there's a place for that too, but different modalities, right? And I think what we've done is made it something that people feel comfortable. There's no windows, dark room, great music, all the different aspects to what marries boutique fitness with the yoga world really, really, really well. So we've been very fortunate.
I mean, and honestly, that spoke to me even before I was working with you guys. It's funny because in a lot of ways, yoga is intimidating, and I do a lot of different boutique fitness and just fitness in general. But when you don't know what you're doing in a yoga class, you could be, you could feel very uncomfortable, and then obviously your vibe and the fact that it's candle lit and dark room and again great music, right up my alley, man. But you're introducing a lot of folks to yoga who quite frankly wouldn't necessarily go otherwise. I'm one of them.
Yeah, and I think that's the other beauty of it is that it is a very intimidating space if you don't know it, and the fact that once you dip your toes into it and realize that it's really not that scary and that there's a lot to it. There's a lot more to it than just the physicality of the asana as well, the practice. I mean, so to be able to tap into that and be able to especially during a time like this. I think we're very fortunate to have the following that we do and have have them continue to follow us now, even though we are obviously completely closed down.
Yeah, exactly. But having said that, people can come find you guys and follow along and stream classes while
Yep.
you are closed down.
The team has done an amazing job of started off with doing a lot of IG lives and just putting something out there to keep some stickiness with the client base, right, and maintain that community. We just launched. The team has worked incredibly hard to get our live streaming and our live on demand. It's called Y7 Online. It's through Vimeo, and it launched last week, and it's to rave reviews. And I think the teachers and everyone else is appreciating the fact that there's some something for them to come back to, especially here when a time when everything is very uncertain.
Yeah, for sure. And we need to continue to spread love, obviously, and we're going to continue to put studios in new markets, obviously, once things get up and running again at some point, and folks will be able to experience Y7 when they're not necessarily only in New York or LA and Chicago.
Yep.
So excited
That's the
about
plan.
that. That's the plan. All right, brother, we're going to go to the fun part now, man.
Let's do
You
it.
ready for some questions?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's go. Do you collect anything?
I do. I have a very I collect old license plates.
Really? That's a cool collection.
Yeah. So my whole garage is kind of decked out with old license plates all near my skis and all my guy stuff out there.
Love that. That's a cool
Yeah.
one. What movie can you rewatch over and over again?
Oh, geez. I mean, I'm a sucker for a classic like a Gladiator. I could probably watch that over and over again.
Yeah.
So many amazing tidbits in there.
I love that. That's a great one. What's your favorite restaurant?
Oh man, my favorite restaurant. I would say my wife and I were, we moved out of the city a few years ago, but up until that point, I would have to say J.G. Mellon's is probably up there.
For sure.
Some of the old classic haunts, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Love that. Good burger. Good burger.
Yeah, exactly.
What's one thing that brings you energy and joy?
Watching my children. I have two kids, 6 and 4, just turned 6. So I think, watching the childish energy, I think keeps you young. It's definitely a young person's game being a parent. And I think watching their endless energy is something that definitely gives you a little bit of spark.
For sure. Love that. What are 2 things that you would consider yourself to be very bad at?
I've never been, don't tell my kids this, I think I'm the best, but I've never been a good dancer. And something I've been trying to get better at, but I'm still kind of learning, a little late in the game, but skateboarding.
Really? Love that.
Yeah.
I've been skateboarding quite a bit during this time.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's a lot of fun, man. And actually, one of my buddies dropped off a longboard for me, so I'm excited to get on that.
So much fun.
Dude, I never really rode a longboard. I'm so excited. Yeah. I'm actually really excited about that. What is a guilty pleasure of yours?
A nice glass of red wine, or a glass of mezcal is probably 2 of my guiltiest pleasures. I'm not a big sweets guy. I'm more of a salty carb guy. So you give me like a nice, salty, soft pretzel off the streets of New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you're talking. I might need a little mustard on that, though.
Yeah. No doubt.
There's now 25 hours in a day. How do you spend your extra hour?
Good question. I would say, I'm kind of a workout junkie, so I'd probably spend it doing something active, preferably something with the kids, so maybe like a hike or a bike ride or something like that.
Cool.
Would probably be my jam.
Have you been doing any of that during this time? Have you been able to get out and hike at all with the family, or not?
Yeah, we've gotten out a few times. Obviously, with so much, all the parks and everything else is pretty, it's pretty tough to find open space. But we have found a few spots that are, can't tell you where they are, or have to kill you.
Yeah.
But yeah, we found a few spots that are diamonds in the rough for the kids to get out and get crazy. We have a dog too, so we need to get him some exercise.
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome. Let's go. Last question here before we get a little tour of the pantry refrigerator, buddy. I hope you're ready for that. What kind of day have you had so far today?
What kind of day have I had? I've had a pretty active one. I got up pretty early, went for a run.
What's early?
These days, typically early would be a lot earlier because I keep going to the city. So typical day would be like 5, but today was more like a 6. Got a little jog in with the dog, get him some exercise. Try to get up before the kids to get some stuff ready. Then get breakfast made for the family. My wife, we have a dual working household, so we split time between me working and her working. So she has the early shift of job responsibilities. So I'll do breakfast and stuff with the kids, and she does some work. And so I'll bring her breakfast and good little, working in tandem here. And then yeah, then I go on shift to work from about 9:30 to about noon. So I've been cranking emails and getting all that stuff done. So
Good. Productive day so far?
as productive as you can be with two kids and a full-time job and school. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is clearly the most fun part of your day. So perfect time to
I
take us on a tour here of your refrigerator and pantry. Let's see
turn-
what you guys are living on in this in this isolation here.
We it's probably nothing all that exciting in here, but let's see what we got. We've been leading a primarily plant-based diet these days, minus obviously the kids, but
Yep.
got some, the smoothie from breakfast this morning, some almond milk, a couple pre-mades, lots of eggs. Can't do without that. Sriracha. I mean, I don't know if I could survive without it. Some kombucha. It's kind of my go-to in the morning. A lot of condiments. It's pretty much all I eat. And then pantry-wise, I don't know. Let's see what we got here. Well, a lot of kids snacks. Some a lot of nuts and nut butters.
Yeah, but all healthy stuff.
Yeah,
which I would expect.
We don't really mess around. My wife is much like me, where we really do thrive on some giving the kids good habits in terms of eating, which is in my mind better than the alternative.
Yeah, we do the same, man. I expected that of you. I kind of knew what I was getting into in the pantry and the refrigerator.
Yeah, right.
It's good, man. So have you been plant-based for a while, or are you experimenting more, just kind of?
My wife has been more plant-based longer than I have. It's kind of a newer thing for me. I went through a pretty big phase of intermittent fasting and playing that game. So I still don't eat breakfast. I'll do like a kombucha or something light in the mornings. But for the most part, I would say I'm more pescatarian. I still love some salmon or some shrimp or something like that, little something. But for the most part, we are across the board, my wife and I, plant-based. The kids, not so much. We don't want to force that on them, but yeah, we've been doing that for about the better part of 3 to 4 years now.
Wow, that's great. Yeah, my wife also has eliminated meat just over time, and I intermittent fast myself. So I typically from 9 p.m. to 1 p.m. typically. So I'm still living off of black coffee
There
today.
you go.
I'm still. How about you? What time do you typically break your fast?
I try to do it until like early afternoon. So from probably like 9-ish p.m. at night until about somewhere around noon to 1 o'clock, somewhere in that range. By then I'm especially if I'm working out like I am pretty heavily during this quarantine. I need some sustenance.
Do you typically work out at a certain time of day or all over the place?
These days I'm trying to get into a better routine especially with the kids in the morning, is to get them out. What I do typically, if I didn't have, today's a busy day, but what I would do is take them post breakfast, take them on a bike ride where I run, they bike. Just to get some, break a little sweat. It's my goal is just, I don't like time it. I don't do a certain number of miles. I don't like care about that. It's more of just break a sweat, do something that's going to get you, and then I'll try to do some yoga at some point during the day, depending on schedules, usually around like early afternoon or early evening.
Sure. That's great. That's good stuff, man. Well, listen, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate you and stay healthy and be safe, and we'll speak soon.
Yeah, please do. And my best to the whole Sabre team. Love you guys.
Thank you, brother. Likewise. Appreciate it.
I just walked in, but y'all already know me. Things in the world nowadays getting oldie. Chilling in the crib with the fam, getting cozy. Talking with my people, we at home with our homies.